Welcome to Good Screenwriting. I'm Trevor Meyer, and today we're going to talk about Suicide Squad. Now, I'm not going to do a review this time. This is going to be a rewriting session. Rewriting Suicide Squad. It may not be as extensive as the Spider-Man 3, rewriting Spider-Man 3 videos that I did before. But I was thinking about this recently and just considering what happened with Suicide Squad and maybe what could have been better. So, we're now living in a world where Wonder Woman has come out, and I have renewed faith in DC Extended Universe material, alright? So, I used to say, oh, Marvel, they really got it figured out. DC, they're just running to catch up. And at a certain point, that was true, and then Wonder Woman, just took everyone by surprise. But Man of Steel, as I've said, it was okay. Batman versus Superman was not as good, and Suicide Squad was the worst of them all. All right, so uh, here's the issue. I consider Suicide Squad to have a lot of good characters, and they're not given anything interesting to do. that's how I'd sum up Suicide Squad. I like all of the characters. Now, right now we're looking at a lineup of the cast here. All right, okay. I don't like all of the characters. Let me put it this way. Okay. Slipknot. He was a red shirt from the beginning. We knew that. Captain Boomerang, he was awesome. Enchantress, no, not good. Um, God, okay. The chick in the white mask with the red circle. The fact that I don't know who she is means that she was probably not that necessary to the plot. All right. Rick Flag, you know what? I'm not even a huge fan of him. You can make the argument that they needed a straight and narrow guy to lead this crew of miscreants, but I wasn't really a huge fan. Harley Quinn, fantastic. Deadshot, fantastic. Killer Croc, I like Killer Croc. I wasn't really a huge fan of their interpretation of the character as a I was debating about whether or not to go here. Killer Croc, okay. He's reptilian, so you really can't get any sense of what race he is. But I know he's African American because they made him the biggest African American stereotype they could possibly make. Um, the fact that he uses grammar like I axed instead of I asked. How they're all making their demands for what they want as a reward for completing this mission, and all he says is BET, and he refers to Harley Quinn as shoddy, shoddy. All right. Now I have no problem with cultural diversity here, but I don't know, man. Like there's something like there's something just kind of like inherently disrespectful about the way they portray that character. I don't know. Maybe other people weren't bothered by it. I mean, I talked to other people and they're like, "What are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense." And I just feel like they're just nudging us and saying, "Get it? He's black." It's just like I don't know. Like I just it was a weird way to portray that character. I mean, again, if that's the way he actually acts, that's totally cool. But I just feel like they were trying a little too hard to get the message across. Um, and Diablo, he was cool. He had a cool backstory. All right, so if I'm just running through this list here, um, I could probably eliminate about half of these characters, and that's probably what they should have done before they finished the script. So here's the difference between the ensemble movies like X-Men or Guardians of the Galaxy versus Suicide Squad. The first X-Men movie, the main hero team, there were like four X-Men, all right? It was Wolverine, Jean Grey, Storm, and Cyclops, okay? Now, it got huge for X2, but for the main core of heroes, it was four people. Um, when you get to Guardians of the Galaxy, there were five people. Five people on the team. Here we have 9. We have 9 on this poster here. And it's too many. All right. I know I've said before that the idea of too many characters is a myth. And it is. It is. I don't think there is such a thing as too many characters if you use them correctly. However, we're talking about introducing 9 characters that we've never met before and trying to do them all equal justice without a sense of hierarchy. All right. So you take a movie and you split it up into 9 equal parts rather than saying, this is our most important character, this is our second most important character, this is our third most important character. Captain America Civil War was fantastic with that because you got like 15 major characters, but the ones who get the most screen time, like Captain America and Iron Man, they really dive deep into those characters and really develop their relationships and stuff like that. The ones who don't get very much screen time, like Black Panther and Spider-Man, they don't try to give them an equal piece of the pie, all right? They just make sure that the scenes they are there for have impact, all right? So Ant-Man. Ant-Man is in like, I think 4 scenes in the entire movie. It's when they recruit him, the airport fight, the prison, and then when Captain America shows up at the end at the prison to break them out. All right, spoiler alert. Sorry if you haven't seen Captain America: Civil War yet, but I didn't give away anything like huge spoilers. All right, so and spoiler alert for Suicide Squad as well if you haven't seen Suicide Squad. But the whole point is Ant-Man is only in the movie for 4 scenes, but they make those scenes count. He's really funny. He does his shtick, his lines count, his dialogue counts, and he gets to turn into Giant Man at the airport fight, and it's really memorable. They don't try to make him as well developed as Captain America or Tony Stark because that's not his place. He has a small role, and they fill that role successfully. This movie is a movie where they try to divide it up equally, like 8 or 9 different ways. And you can't do that because then you have no central focus. Okay? So, that aside, let's get into the rewrite territory here. First off, who would I keep? I would keep Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Captain Boomerang, Killer Croc, and Diablo or maybe Rick Flag for variety, for having a team leader. But you know what? I think Deadshot should be the team leader. So you know what? Diablo. All right? I would get rid of Slipknot. I would get rid of the Katana chick. I would get rid of Enchantress, Rick Flag. Yeah. Yeah. Um, Basically, long story short, my version of this would be a cross between Guardians of the Galaxy and Die Hard. All right, it's like it would be like the Arkham Asylum video game, except instead of Batman, you have the Suicide Squad. So, pretty simple premise. You would have a riot in Arkham Asylum. The Joker has broken out. He's taken over the prison, and instead of sending in Batman, you send in the Suicide Squad. Why would you do that? Okay, in Suicide Squad, the actual movie, they're all from Belle Reve. And I'm like, why in God's name would you, like, I know that Belle Reve or Belle Rev or whatever they want to call it in the movie, I know that that is a place in the actual comic books, but why would you not have them from Arkham? Why would they not set this in Arkham? Why did all these people not escape from Arkham? Why did they pick Belle Reve of all places? It should have been all these people are from Arkham Asylum. And, okay, I get it. Well, no, that still doesn't make sense. All right, so these would have to be people who either are prisoners in Arkham Asylum or who have escaped from Arkham Asylum and have just been captured. And there's a riot inside of Arkham Asylum, and the Joker has taken over, and they send these 5 escaped convicts in to take control of the prison because They know the place better than anyone else. They're not going to send a hero in to do the job because a hero would get killed. It's like sending a cop into a prison, you know? So all the plot holes kind of go away. They're like, so like for something like this where they're trying to save it from the Enchantress, you got to ask, why not get heroes to do this? Why are you hiring criminals? There's got to be good people with powers out there. We already know the Flash is out there. We know that Batman is out there. We've seen it in Suicide Squad. All right. Uh, Aquaman, I assume he hasn't been recruited yet, but we get the sense that the Flash and Batman are already out there fighting crime. Okay, so why wouldn't you gather a bunch of people who are already actively fighting crime? And we know in Wonder Woman, from Wonder Woman, she's actually doing her thing. I don't know if she's like actively a hero, but at the end of Wonder Woman, she seems to be, publicly Wonder Woman. But in Batman versus Superman, they didn't know who she was. They didn't know who she was, so it's sketchy. I'm not sure exactly what her present day role is, but uh, the reason why you wouldn't hire heroes to go into Arkham Asylum is because it would be really dangerous. But you send the criminals in, and they're expendable. You don't really care if they live or die. So you take these 5 escaped convicts and send them into Arkham. And you're like, well, if they win, they take control of Arkham and put the Joker back in his cell. If they lose, they die. No big loss. All right. You don't want to risk the lives of your heroes, though. So even though I'm pretty sure the Flash could, take control of Arkham in like 30 seconds. Let's ignore that for a second. But the fact that they send a bunch of criminals to fight the Enchantress doesn't even make any sense. Like, why would they recruit them? All right, so here are the benefits of changing this into a Guardians of the Galaxy crossed with Die Hard. You keep it all in one building, and you shoot it for real. You don't do all this CGI nonsense in the middle of the city. The big thing that people complain about, the swirling garbage in the sky, thing that they're doing. It's kind of silly, like the amount of computer animation they put into a movie like this that should be pretty straightforward. All right. And the other big deal is like, okay, a lot of people are complaining about Jared Leto not getting enough screen time as the Joker. I totally agree because they tried to divide this movie into 9 equal slices or 10 equal slices. All right. Uh, and he didn't get a big piece of the pie. They should have made him the main villain. All right, forget Enchantress. The Joker should have been the antagonist of this movie, and it should have been the Suicide Squad versus the Joker. So then, rather than Harley Quinn and the Joker trying to be reunited, maybe they're broken up. And you know what? This happened. I forgot about this. There's an animated film called Batman Assault on Arkham, and it's about the Suicide Squad going into Arkham to take control after the Joker takes over. You know what? Use that. Take that hour-and-a-half movie, expand it to 2 hours, make it live action, flesh out the characters, and just do that. Because the other reason you'd want to do this is because it would be a great opportunity to test out all of the DC Universe villains to kind of gauge the audience response. Okay? So, in the actual Suicide Squad movie, what they did was they had them fight zombies that look like they have blowfish for for heads. They had, their heads would look like spiky blowfish. Like it was weird. Like these zombie blowfish were what they spent the second half of the movie fighting. Um, it's just kind of silly, and the movie didn't make any sense. Like the plot was all like stitched together in a weird way. But I say you localize it, you keep it confined to one space, you reduce your budget, you reduce the CGI, and you get to test out all of the DC villains to see how people respond to it. So you can have, you know what? You don't have to do a Batman movie where Clayface is the main villain. Do a Suicide Squad movie, have Clayface show up in one scene and fight the heroes, heroes in quotes, Suicide Squad, and just see how the audience responds. If people say, that Clayface guy was really dumb, then they know not to put him in a Batman movie. But if they're like, oh my god, Clayface was the best part of this entire movie, then they know, make him the villain of the next Batman movie. All right, so you get to play with it. You get to do a version of the Riddler. You get to do the Penguin. It's like throw a bunch of Batman villains, Flash villains, Superman villains. Throw them all into Arkham Asylum or whatever. Like maybe Belle Reve is more okay. Okay, I'll give him this. Maybe Arkham Asylum is too specific to Batman. Maybe Belle Reve is more inclusive of all of the DC characters, like Superman, the Flash, and all that. But I don't know. I like the idea of Arkham. Maybe it's not all Batman villains. Maybe it's a whole bunch of villains. But yeah, you need a place for like Lex Luthor and things like that. Yeah, for God's sake, like, why didn't they put Lex Luthor in this movie? Batman versus Superman already happened. Why didn't they put Lex Luthor in one of the cells? I mean, that'd be awesome. You know why? Because it didn't take place in Arkham. It didn't take place in Belle Reve. It took place out in the city somewhere, where they're fighting a bunch of blowfish zombies and swirling garbage witches. So, yeah, yeah. To simplify this whole thing, I would have taken the team down to 5, given it a focus, given it a real strong lead character, not try to split the movie evenly 10 different ways, but understand the hierarchy and give the less screen time people their moment to shine, but really dive deep into the top people on the pyramid. All right. You reduce the budget, do it. There was no reason to make this a big kind of special effects movie. I think they were trying to go for the Avengers. I think they were trying to do something like the Avengers, but this didn't need to be the Avengers. This could have been low budget, could have been gritty, sort of like John Wick. I mean, make this like the John Wick of superhero movies. Make it gritty and edgy and dark and violent. Just have fun with it, all right? Just, don't. They tried to make it generic and it didn't work. And I feel like you just got to let the Suicide Squad be the Suicide Squad. Let them do something down and dirty rather than an Avengers style fighting faceless aliens, with a portal in the sky type thing. So, again, I didn't get into a lot of detail with this, but just conceptually, just a log line type thing. I would have, it's not like something that I would have done another draft on. I would have gone back to the drawing board on this one and gone right back to the original concept and say, Suicide Squad is a movie about a group of escaped criminals who are hired by the government to break into Arkham Asylum and and get it under control after the Joker takes it over. All right, that's it. That's what I would do the whole movie about. You know what? It's kind of like the Fast and Furious movies, the later Fast and Furious movies, like 6, 7, and 8, where you get this group of criminals who are recruited by the government for some kind of incentive to take down a bigger threat. All right? That's what I would have done. That's how you do an ensemble movie. So, what do you think? I'm sure you guys all have different versions of it, and you can criticize the movie for what it is, and everybody has a different version of what they would have done. This is what I would have done. All right? So, what do you think? Would that have been better? Do you have a better idea? I'd love to hear your concept for a Suicide Squad movie. And it's not too late. They could do a sequel to Suicide Squad that takes place in Arkham. They could, you know what? Cut the budget, increase their profits, focus more on the characters. It's not too late. They can still do Suicide Squad 2 in Arkham and do it as a Guardians of the Galaxy plus Die Hard type formula. All right? So, let me know what you think in the comments section below. This is Good Screenwriting, and I'm Trevor Meyer. See you next time.